The quiet question you've never asked out loud. What if I told you the size of your testicles could reveal the truth about your health after 60, and even warn you about problems long before any other symptom appears? Sounds strange, maybe even a little uncomfortable. But here's the part most men don't know. Changes in testicle size, shape, or firmness can be one of your body's earliest warning signs, not just for sexual health, but for your hormones, your circulation, even your heart. You might have already noticed something. One side feels smaller, a little softer, maybe not painful, but different. You brush it off. It's just age. But late at night, when you can't sleep, that thought creeps in. What if it's more than that? And here's the thing. Almost no one talks about this, not with friends, not even with their doctor. We avoid it out of embarrassment. But that silence, it can cost you. Because your testicles aren't just for reproduction, they're a direct reflection of your body's overall health. So before you decide it's nothing, before you tell yourself I'm fine, you need to know what these changes really mean. And the truth may shock you. You might think you're the only man dealing with this, noticing a change down there and quietly wondering if it means something serious. But you're not. Not even close. All over the world, men in their 60s and beyond are having the same private thoughts. They feel that same flicker of worry in the shower, that same hesitation when their partner reaches for them, that same small voice asking, "Is this normal?" And yet, almost none of us talk about it. We'll talk about bad knees, blood pressure, or the weather for hours. But not this, because this is different. This feels personal. This feels like it says something about our manhood, our health, maybe even our worth. So we keep it locked inside, hoping it's nothing, telling ourselves we're fine. But here's the thing. Silence doesn't protect you. It only makes the uncertainty heavier. You're not broken, you're not weak, you're not less of a man because something is changing. You're simply human. And your body is telling you something it wants you to notice. And that's why we're here, to strip away the secrecy, give you the truth, and help you take action before a small concern becomes a bigger problem. When we talk about the size of your testicles, it's easy to think it's just a cosmetic thing, like how your hair changes color or your skin changes texture with age. But that's not really what's going on. Size, firmness, and shape tell a deeper story about your health. Inside each testicle, you have millions of tiny coiled tubes where sperm is produced and specialized cells that make testosterone, the hormone that fuels your sex drive, muscle strength, bone health, and overall energy. These aren't isolated parts. They're connected to your blood vessels, your nervous system, and your entire hormonal network. Inside each testicle, you have millions of tiny coiled tubes where sperm is produced and specialized cells that make testosterone, the hormone that fuels your sex drive, muscle strength, bone health, and overall energy. These aren't isolated parts. They're connected to your blood vessels, your nervous system, and your entire hormonal network. As we age, those systems shift. Blood flow may not be as strong as it once was, which means less oxygen and nutrients are getting to the tissue. Testosterone production naturally declines, and the cells that keep everything working efficiently can slow down. Over time, these changes can cause a slight decrease in size or firmness. Sometimes it's nothing more than the normal rhythm of aging, but other times it can be a sign of something else happening. Issues with your circulation, your hormone balance, or even early warnings from your prostate or overall metabolic health. The point isn't to scare you, it's to help you listen to your body in a way most men never do. We're good at noticing changes in our cars, the sound of the engine, the way the steering feels, but we often ignore the same signs in ourselves. Your testicles are not just about reproduction. They're like a built-in health monitor, quietly reflecting what's happening in the rest of your body. And when they change, it's worth asking why. That doesn't mean panic. It means curiosity. It means being willing to check in, maybe get a simple exam or blood test, and see the bigger picture. Because sometimes, a small change in one place is your body's way of telling you something important about your whole system. And once you understand what's really going on inside, you can take steps to keep things working well. Not just for your sexual health, but for your energy, your mood, and your confidence every day. One of the hardest things about getting older is that you get used to just living with certain changes: a little stiffness in the knees, a slower walk up the stairs. And when it comes to your testicles, you might notice they've changed: smaller, softer, or less firm, and you shrug it off. That's mistake number one: ignoring it. We tell ourselves, it's fine, I'm fine. But here's the thing: the body doesn't just change for no reason. And when we ignore the early signals, we miss the chance to fix something while it's still simple. Mistake number two: throwing quick fixes at the problem. Some men rush to over the counter testosterone boosters without really knowing what their body actually needs. And while a few supplements can help in certain cases, blasting your system with untested pills can backfire, disrupting your natural hormone balance, stressing your liver, or masking the real issue entirely. Then there's the silent killer for a man's circulation: sitting too much. Hours in a chair, day after day, slows blood flow to the lower body. That means less oxygen and nutrients reaching the very place you're worried about. It's a slow, quiet squeeze on your vitality. And let's not forget diet. Years of convenience foods, too much sugar, and too many processed carbs don't just affect your waistline. They chip away at your vascular health, your testosterone levels, and your ability to repair and maintain healthy tissue. None of these mistakes make you a bad man. They make you human. We all take the path of least resistance, especially when we're not sure what's really going on. But here's the truth: every day you delay, the harder it gets to reverse the trend. The good news? You can change this step by step without extreme measures. But it starts by stopping these common mistakes, paying attention to the signals your body's sending, and giving it what it truly needs to heal and stay strong. Because ignoring the whispers now could mean facing the shout later when it comes to changes in your testicles, size, firmness, even how they hang. Most of us want a quick fix: a pill, a supplement, something we can take once a day and never think about again. I get it. That's human nature. But here's the truth: there is no magic capsule that can undo decades of slow, quiet changes in blood flow, hormones, and tissue health. The real wins, the kind that last, come from habits that help your body work the way it's meant to. And the good news: you don't need to overhaul your life to start making a difference. There are two changes, simple but powerful, that I've seen help men again and again. First, improve your circulation. These changes aren't dramatic. They won't make headlines, but they work, not just for your testicular health, but for your heart, your brain, and your confidence. And here's the key: don't look for overnight miracles. Think in weeks, months, and years, because the man who invests in his health now is the man who stays active, sharp, and proud of his body well into his 70s and beyond. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about protecting the man you are and the life you still want to live. Here's the honest truth: when you start making changes, you're probably not going to wake up one morning feeling like a brand new man. That's not how the body works, especially after 60. Instead, what you'll notice at first is small things. Maybe you open your eyes in the morning and feel just a little more rested. You stand up and realize your legs don't feel quite as heavy, or your mood feels steadier, not that roller coaster of good days and bad days you've been riding. And those changes, they matter because they're the first signs that your body is responding. It's like turning a ship around, slow at first, but once it changes course, you're heading in a new direction entirely. Over the next few weeks, you may notice more subtle shifts. That firmness returning, more natural energy in the afternoons, even your focus feels sharper. And these aren't just in your head. They're the physical signs that your circulation, your hormones, and your confidence are waking back up. There's a certain peace that comes when you know your body is on your side again. It's not about feeling invincible. It's about feeling steady, grounded, sure of yourself in a way that doesn't need proving. You notice it in the little things: the way you carry yourself when you walk into a room, the way your hand feels steady when you reach for your partner, the way your thoughts aren't clouded by that quiet question that used to live in the back of your mind. That's the real victory here. Not just stronger circulation or better hormone balance or a healthier body, but the return of trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the signals your body gives you. And once you have that trust back, life changes in ways you can't measure on a chart. You laugh more. You sleep deeper. You stop bracing for the worst and start leaning into what's possible. You've earned that. Not by chasing quick fixes, but by showing up for yourself, day after day. That's what real strength looks like. At whatever comes next, you're ready for it. And maybe the most important part, you'll know deep down. But here's the part most men don't hear enough. Consistency is everything. Skipping days, going back to old habits, expecting overnight results. That's what kills momentum. The men who see real change aren't necessarily the strongest or the fittest. They're the ones who keep showing up even when progress feels slow. Now think of it like tending a fire, and when at first you're just working to get that small flame going. It doesn't feel like much, but keep adding the fuel, the movement, the better food, the better sleep, and that flame starts to catch. Before you know it, it's throwing off heat and light you can feel every day. And here's the best part. Once the ball is rolling, you don't have to fight as hard to keep it going. Your body starts working with you, not against you. So don't get discouraged if week one feels underwhelming. This isn't about chasing quick wins. It's about building a version of yourself you can count on. Not just for the next month, but for the next decade. Your testicles rely on a steady, healthy blood supply to function well. For hormone production, for temperature regulation, for tissue repair. Sitting for hours, smoking, or carrying too much belly fat all slow that flow down. Start small. Walk every day. Stand and move every hour. Stretch your hips and lower back. These aren't just exercise tips. They're ways of restoring the blood flow that keeps your testicles and the rest of you alive and well. Second, reduce inflammation. Chronic, low-level inflammation is like rust on the inside. It damages blood vessels, disrupts hormone signals, and makes recovery slower. The fix? Shift your diet toward whole, unprocessed foods. More vegetables, omega-3s from fish or walnuts, less sugar and fried junk. You'll feel the benefits everywhere. Steadier energy, better sleep, even a clearer mind.